I run every new model through the same 10 tests, and MiniMax M3 just came out on top. It knocked Claude Opus 4.8 out of first place, and that almost never happens. The new number one on my AI arena did not come out of San Francisco. It's a model out of Asia, and it costs a tiny fraction of what Opus 4.8 costs to run. It wins by being good at almost everything with one clear hole. So I'm going to show you the three places it wins big, the single place it falls apart, and the one result where I flat out disagree with my own scoring system. If this is your first video of mine, I test new AI models with the same prompts every time, but only on the skills that actually matter to me. I don't care if a model scores in the 90th percentile on some benchmark. I care if it can do the work that I actually do. Here's the plan. I walk you through where this model is genuinely great, the one place it completely breaks down, and then the strangest result of the whole run, the one I still cannot fully explain. One quick thing, if this video is helping you, tap like. It's a free way to support the channel, and it tells me to keep making this kind of testing video. Let me start with how I actually test these models, because for this one, it really matters. Every model gets the exact same 10 prompts, the same sales page brief, the same email, the same LinkedIn article, the same coding test, and the same long document job, 10 categories that map to real work. Then I score it two ways. First, an automated rubric grades the output. Then I do the thing the rubric cannot do. I sit down and read every single piece myself, the way a real person would, and I tell you whether I would actually ship it. Most of the time, those two scores agree. With MiniMax M3, there is one place they completely part ways, and that is the most interesting result on the board. So let me start where this model is genuinely strong, because that is most of the test. The LinkedIn article is good, really good. It opens on the idea that most AI teams are still leaning on chat wrappers from a couple of years ago and gluing together everything by hand. And then it walks the reader through treating their workflow like infrastructure, map the most expensive part of the process, hand each piece to an agent, measure the cost per execution. That is a clever CEO level angle. If I'm being picky, it runs one notch too technical for my taste, and I would pull it one level more casual before I post it. But would I post it? Yes. And that is the real test. I do a lot on LinkedIn, so I am hard to impress here. And this one passes. The YouTube summary is even better. Clean, accurate, genuinely useful. The only thing I would change is the section on technical details. When it names a tool, it describes it like an engineer instead of like a friend. It says something is the inference backend for image generation, when what a normal person needs to hear is, this is a place that has a ton of image generators like the ones I use. This is the difference between a summary that informs and one that actually lands. But honestly, that's me reaching for something to nitpick. And the fact that I have to reach that far tells you how solid it is. Then there is long context. You hand the model a huge pile of material and ask it to keep everything straight. This is where a lot of models quietly fall apart, and MiniMax M3 does the opposite. Perfect coherence. It does not just answer, it shows its work, walking through how it reaches each conclusion. The social posts feel familiar in a good way. The no more wrapper code, the horse and buggy era is over kind of angle, I would post most of them. The reasoning, the brainstorming, the back end code all land. So across most of what I do, this model just shows up and delivers. Here's how this channel works. What you tell me in the comments decides what I test next. So if you're running a different model and you think it would beat MiniMax M3 in these tests, name it below and I'll see about running through the exact same 10 tests. This is a small channel, so I read and respond to every single comment, and I genuinely adjust based on what you tell me. Now, the glaring hole in MiniMax M3. There's exactly one, and once you see it everywhere it shows up. MiniMax M3 cannot write casual. On my editing test, where I take a casual piece of writing and ask the model to improve it, this is where it earns the lowest grade of the whole run by a wide margin. And here's why. When I write across a scale of formality. My videos are looser than my books. A book I dictate is looser than a book I write by hand. Every time I sit down to write, I ask one question. Am I lecturing in a university hall Or am I sitting with a friend in front of a fireplace having a casual chat? MiniMax M3 does not understand that scale. It keeps the piece casual, but it goes too casual in the wrong way. It uses 3x when a good writer just says triple. It drops in the word seriously and breaks the whole friend to friend feeling. It fixes the spelling and the grammar, but it never fixes the actual writing. No new idea, no better example, no sharper claim. The email carries the same fingerprint. It opens on a line about your messy Google Docs suddenly becoming valuable, and then it leans on the phrase 1 million tokens, except at that point in the email, the reader has no idea we are even talking about a context window. So the model makes an assumption it never sets up, and the message leaks meaning. That is a genuinely good mistake to catch because it's subtle and it's the exactly kind of thing that makes copy quietly fail. So when the score tells me email and editing are the two weak spots, I agree. They are the same weakness wearing two different shirts. This model is bad at casual. That's the headline on the downside. And now the result I cannot stop thinking about, the sales page. My automated rubric hands it a near perfect grade, and I would not. I give it a B, maybe a B plus. Here's the strange part. Nothing about it is technically wrong. The code is clean. It even nails a layout test most models miss, putting 4 feature blocks across a single row instead of breaking them into 3 and 1 on the next line. But it just does not move me, and I have to be honest about why. It puts orange numbers and white text on an orange blocks for the pricing, and I would never read that as a buy button. Every bullet grid leaves the bottom right corner empty, when the better look is centered upside down triangles so the whole thing feels balanced. The headings sometimes sit smaller than the items underneath them, so the hierarchy reads backwards. None of that is a bug. All of it is taste. And taste is the whole point of this part of the test, because here is the embarrassing truth. I catch myself being inconsistent. At one point, I complain the rows are not centered. Then the model centers them. And I do not like that either. That is design. That is what makes it human. A rubric can confirm the boxes line up. It cannot tell you whether the page has heart. So the right read is not the model failed the sales page. The right read is that it builds a technically perfect page, and judging whether it actually sells is still my job. So here's where I land. For the price, MiniMax 3 is one of the most impressive models I have put through this test. If you need a YouTube script, a LinkedIn article, long document work, or reasoning, use it. It delivers. If you need casual writing, an email, or a friendly blog post, do not hand it the job cold. Give it a strong prompt and a reference file first, because that is the one place it stumbles. And now that I know exactly where that weakness lives, it's easy to work around. This is the first model out of Asia I would put directly head to head with Opus 4.8. And given the price difference, that is a very big deal. For a long time, the best of these models came from somewhere else. Now, this is the one to beat. I think it is exactly the model the big labs felt breathing down their necks when they all rushed out new versions. I'm going to be doing a lot with this one. The full breakdown is linked in the description. I hope you found this video useful, interesting, or at least entertaining. Hit subscribe to see more of my videos in your feed, and the bell will notify you every time I post a new video. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for making it all the way to the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching one of my videos. Hit the like button, and then I've got a couple of sweet videos that I think you're gonna like. I've got one here and another one over here. You're gonna love them.